2025 Planning Board meeting with a roll call for those in attendance. Alphabetical roll call, please.
Clark Brewer here.
Amy Glassmeyer here.
Kevin Hine here.
Deirdre Hobson here.
Birgit Schmidt-Becher here.
Excellent. And we're also joined by Cassandra Thayer, Town of Cohasset Planner, and Justin Parada, Counsel for Town of Cohasset. So on our agenda, if you want to take a look at the first item, Cassandra, do you want to introduce that?
Sure. So the first item on your agenda is a common driveway application for 4046 Pond Street. They have requested a continuance to your August 20th meeting.
Ooh,
Okay.
that's easy.
Yeah, I think we can come to a pretty unanimous vote on that right off the bat, if that's what it's going to take. Move it to August
Do we have
20th.
to read the public hearing notice?
Yeah,
Open the public hearing and then continue?
No,
I
we
think-
don't need to open. They asked, I guess if they want to continue it, open it and continue it, then we've got to read it.
Well, then would you have to advertise again?
You have 65 days to open the public hearing, and you're within that time at your August 20th date. So you don't have to open it at this time.
Okay.
So I'd entertain a motion by a member to move that item to the August 20th, 2025 Planning Board meeting.
second.
Well, you'd be
Oh,
first.
sorry, I'm first. Move the motion.
Second,
What-
Second.
Alphabetical roll call, please.
Clark Brewer, aye.
Amy Glassmeyer, aye.
Kevin Hine. Aye.
Deirdre Hobson, aye.
Birgit Schmidt-Becher, aye. Kevin, you are breaking up.
Great.
Kevin,
Okay,
you are breaking up.
I'm going to turn my video off. That's all I can do.
You sounded good just then. How about if we'll raise our hand or something?
We
if
can
it's
continue with that, or I
breaking?
can do
We
the
can't hear
video
you.
off. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know what to do about that.
We can hear you now.
All right, so the motion passes unanimously, and that's moved to our next meeting on August 20th. Without further ado, there's another item on the agenda for tonight.
Yes, so the next item on your agenda is an A&R, and that is for 0 Black Horse Lane, which was previously heard by the board back in, I think, May. And you have Brendan Sullivan here to present.
Okay, okay. So I'd like to give the representatives for the applicants an opportunity to walk us through the revised materials that they shared with us, that Cassandra had shared with the board and is available, has been available for review on the board's website. Brendan, I will let you take it from here, and then if we have any questions from the board, we'll go through alphabetically with that while we have you for clarification of anything. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. I think Brian Keane should be on the call as well. If you could promote him to the panel, that'd be great. For the record, Brendan Sullivan with Merrill Associates, Engineers and Land Surveyors. I'll pull up on my screen the new Form A plan. As you know, this is basically the same Form A plan that we presented back in May. A couple additions to the plan. I did show the building setbacks on the plan, shown as a dashed line around the proposed lots. I also added an access easement across lot 1 that goes to the 50-foot wide vehicle and pedestrian easement that gains access for the upland portion of lot 2. As you remember, this lot is being subdivided into 2 lots with frontage on Black Horse Lane and with access through an adjacent 50-foot wide vehicle and pedestrian access easement that runs along the easterly portion of the property. Couple comments from the last meeting. I did come up, I prepared a concept plan as well, which shows the wetlands and the 50 and 100-foot buffers from the wetlands. And I showed just a couple footprints that was just really some boxes on there to give you an idea of size of what could be built there. Not that would be built there. These are 8,000 square foot footprints. Not to say we're building two 16,000 square foot houses, but just to give you an idea of, because the question was, well, you know, where could the houses go? What sizes are you know, could be there? So this is just, you know, in an area outside the building setbacks. You know, lot 1 is totally outside the 100-foot buffer. Lot 2 is within the 100-foot buffer, so that would need conservation approval. They both would most necessarily need conservation approval for the access anyway and the utilities that would serve the houses. But this is really just a concept plan showing, you know, a size footprint that could be on the lot. Like I said, not that it would be, but just to show that it's not you know, we're not talking about a 500 square foot footprint between the building setbacks and the buffers to the wetlands. I was also asked to clarify some of the easements on the property. So this is the easement, this is the plan that created all the easements, dated December 14th, 1977. It's back when John Keene, Brian's dad and mom owned all of this property. And then there's an easement, the easement document was recorded in December 21st of that same 1977. And so this was recorded in book 5422, page 280. The previous document to this was the document that John and Mary Ellen Keene transferred the property to the Terranians, lot 7A, which is the currently the Stones property, which this is lot 7A up here, where there was an existing dwelling. So the easements I highlighted in blue. The blue easement is a 10-foot wide, basically utility easement for overhead, maintaining necessary poles, wires, cables, guys, basically for electrical and electricity and telephone easement, and that runs along the westerly portion of lot 7A, and goes from this lot 6A over lot 7A out to the back. The next easement is in orange. This is the 20-foot wide water easement, as shown on the said plan. The easement shall run with the land, and so it's also repairing and placing and inspecting the water pipes. Now this easement is only over, it's only, even though I have the whole easement highlighted, this easement is only over that portion of lot 7A, which this is all lot 7A that goes out to Keene Street. This is all part of 7A. The only portion of the easement is over this orange portion that is over lot 7A. The easement does not include the rest of this easement that runs down here. So it's only that small portion, about 50 feet wide by 20 feet wide over lot 7A. The next easement is the access easement, which is 50 feet wide, goes over 7A. The easement is for the purpose of providing Keene and their successors in title access from Black Horse Lane to such other lands the Keenes now own on shown in said plan. The easement shall commence at a point where the 50-foot portion of the 7A intersects a public way known as Black Horse Lane, and shall terminate at a point on the plan designated termination of vehicle and pedestrian easement number 4. So that is shown in green here. Now it doesn't, I do have the end of this highlighted in green, but it doesn't go that far. As you can see, this note down here, termination of the vehicle and pedestrian easement number 4. So it does terminate at this 10-foot wide overhead easement. So the access easement only goes up to this point here. It does not go into this portion of the green area up here. So that access easement is from there, 50 feet wide, all the way out to Black Horse Lane. And I think that's about it. I don't believe there's any water in this. I don't, even though it was a water easement and there is a W line shown on here, it kind of stops. Maybe there was a stub at some point. I'm not exactly sure. And I'm not quite sure what the intent of that easement was. The Keens at the time did own this lot down in here. They had since sold it, but there is no easement that goes through this property out to Westgate Lane. Maybe the thought was maybe to loop a water main through there at some point. I don't know. The existing Keen property does, I'm sorry, the existing, what was the Keen property, 55 Black Horse, they do have a water service off of Black Horse Lane. So I'm not quite exactly sure what this easement was for back here. And nor was this easement anywhere else extended or granted to the town or anything like that. So this easement only exists on this plan. It doesn't exist in title anywhere, as the blue and the green easements do. So I think that take care of the easements. Like I said, I get the easement agreements, the concept plan, and the Form A plan. I think that's about all I had.
Okay, thank you, Brendan. Clark, did you want to start off with any comments or questions?
Well, I think on our last visit, I brought up the access easement across lot 1, and that exists in this plan. So there seems to be access to both of these lots that's not illusory, and the easement access from the public portion of Black Horse Lane and frontage all seem to be adequate and conforming. So appreciate your going through all that, Brendan. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'll note too that on the plan Brendan provided, there's a table that shows the existing requirements, and I believe it's up towards the top center of the page. I appreciated that when I was looking at it as well. Okay, anything else, Clark?
Nope.
Amy, are you next?
Yeah, I'm here. So the original map that we saw had a different configuration with regard to the driveway. Was that a later decision changed? Was that original decision changed?
I don't believe there was a driveway shown in the original plan.
Well, I think we had 4 maps. So one of the maps had a white strip drawn on it that was maybe a suggestive view of what the driveway might look like.
I don't recall that at all, to tell you the truth. The only change to this plan was really I think the zoning table, and the building setbacks I added. Everything else remained the same. Or in the access easement across lot 1.
All right, thank you.
Okay, anything else, Amy?
No, I think I've looked at the map and looked at other renditions of it, and I can see that appears to have the right configuration.
Okay, all right, thank you. I would concur the same. Brendan, I just had a question with regard to access for both properties. The property that has that little strip that connects to the cul-de-sac, that's lot 2. Am I correct there?
Oh, yes. Yep.
Okay. In lot 2, its linear shape extends out to Black Horse Lane, but a lot of it looks like it traverses wetlands that you have, or a wetland feature that you have demarcated on this.
Yep.
Is the thought that, were in the future there to be any allowed zoning, within the setbacks as you've drawn here, and then you also had a conceptual for some, potentially up to the size of the buildings with the current zoning. Access to that would not be across those wetlands, but it would be by way of this uppermost, yes, where you're running through there
Yes,
for both lots. And then lot 2, the one that's separated from that strip by lot 1, would have that utility corridor right there that you're running through, as well as that more angular arcing strip for vehicular access. Is that right?
yes, that is correct. So access to this upland portion of lot 1 would be across this 20-foot wide easement across here, which, may or may not change depending on where the buildings are, going to be located. And then from there, it would be through the 50-foot wide pedestrian and vehicle access easement.
Okay, I see now. It's a 20-foot wide. The one that arcs is a water.
Yes, this is the existing water easement that I said is shown on only a plan. It has not been conveyed out in any documents. The only portion of it conveyed out was this portion up here from, originally from the Keens through the Terranians when the Terranians bought this property up here. So it's really just a water easement up here. But like I said, I think maybe the thought was maybe to have the Keens, work with the town to have maybe a water loop through here at some point or something.
I see. Okay.
But this portion of the easement was never transferred out anywhere, as far as I can see.
So that's just there for labeling that historic feature, but the idea is that the water and all other utilities would go through that straight easement that you've drawn on here
Yes.
across lot 1.
Yep.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
vehicle and pedestrian and easement there, yeah, because there's only 7.5 feet of frontage on Westgate Lane down here, so there's really not enough room. It's I mean, you certainly walk through it, but as far as trying to dig it up without disturbing other properties, it's really impractical to
Yeah.
have any kind of utility go through there.
Okay, and just one final question. Black Horse Lane is a public right of way. Is that extend up to a certain point and then it's no longer public? Where does that
Yeah,
begin
it
or end?
goes up.
And is that shown on the figure you just had up in front of us, I guess?
Yeah, it goes up. So it comes public, and it goes public up to where the recently Nino DeNuno subdivision starts. That's where it becomes private. So it goes
Yeah.
So it goes up to actually, so the end of the old Keens property. That's where it's all public up to that point.
And that's off of the figure, off the edge of the figure you were just showing.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
It's
up
further
here
off there.
further.
Okay.
Yeah, and this obviously goes back to Summer Street, which is all the public way.
Okay. Okay, I appreciate the walkthrough with this and the revised drawing with the additional details. I don't have any other questions. Deirdre?
I don't have any other questions. Thank you, Brian. Very thorough. Brendan, sorry. I'm really,
No
yeah, I should just go back to bed this morning and start over my day. It's been this way all day. I apologize.
That's okay.
No, it's, I have no other questions. I think you've answered everything that we put forth in the previous meeting, and all looks good to me. Thank you.
And Birgit?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure whether this is part of the mere A&R that we are discussing here, but the 20-foot easement from lot 1 to lot 2 is probably not quite sufficient to reach lot 2 via the common driveway regulations that we have. You would have to, kind of be, kind of extending it. You would have to have a turnaround, and be a lot more considerate here as how to lot 2 is really going to be included in this. The other, I don't know, do you want to comment on that?
So that 20-foot wide it is just an access easement that wouldn't be common at this point, unless lot one was gaining access across it as well. The common driveway would, if there was a common driveway to be constructed, would be solely, within the 50-foot wide access and utility easement. This would not be common, unless it was common with lot one, but I envision like a driveway in lot one coming, west, east of that easement, and then this solely being, just to serve lot two. So it would be it wouldn't be common at this point. The common driveway would end within the 50-foot wide right of way.
So each of them, and so lot one and lot two would have separate accesses.
Yeah, that's how I see it.
Okay.
I thought I read on the common driveway standards that that the common driveway requires a 20-foot wide easement, and the actual driveway width is sort of variable. I mean, I looked it up for the other project.
Well, it's variable to a certain degree. I would have to look it up again as well. But kind of if we do not consider a common driveway here, it may be a different, kind of it's just a different layout then, and we are not we don't have to abide, or you don't have to abide by the common driveway regulations. So, but that's something to definitely to consider. The other point that I would like to make, I'm pretty familiar with the area, and I mean on paper it looks very nice for lot one and lot two. The kind of conceptual buildings that you added on a different sheet shown earlier. I would like to, I don't know whether you are familiar with the area. I would like to point out that both lot one and lot two even significantly more, are consisting of ledge, especially at that point, the upland point, where the houses, kind of are to be considered. This is something that should really be taken very seriously, of how much, kind of room you can make in both of these lots for a nice and decent home. I mean, on paper it looks nice, but in reality, you already know about the wetlands leading up to the two upland portions. And both of these upland portions are very heavily wooded, and lot two consists of, I'd say, just kind of average, kind of just estimating it's half of it is ledge, and would need kind of a very, very good consideration for building something.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why I'm showing, that that an 8,000 square foot footprint can be shown. Like I said, we're not planning on, I don't think we're planning on building two 16,000 two-story, square foot houses, but there is sufficient area there, even a, 2,500, which is, a quarter of that 8,000 square foot footprint. A 2,500 square foot footprint is a 5,000 square foot house, which may be reasonable up there. So like I said, it's not like we're showing a 1,500 square foot footprint that you're squeezing in somewhere, and that might, the ledge and trees, you might have to move around a little bit to build the house there. So, I mean, we know that this will most likely, trigger a stormwater bylaw, and so there'll be stormwater, there'll be
Yes.
conservation, there will be all of that. But like I said, that's why we're showing, like I said, over 8,000 square feet of footprint that could be built. There is room certainly there to move the footprints.
Yeah. Yeah, and I would really, kind of, I mean, you are here, the engineer for the A&R, but whoever is picking up and afterwards, kind of to look at our bylaws very carefully and see, kind of what is really realistic.
Oh, yeah, yeah, absolutely.
And it's possible that the one or either of these lots might have a large home review requirement in addition to the ledge special permit. But these are just the division of
I
the,
totally understand, but I totally understand that this is, kind of, we are here to just, kind of divide this lot into two. I just want to caution that, kind of, and to, kind of just have realistic hopes and expectations as to what we can really build on these two lots.
I think that was a point well spoken, Birgit. So what we have in front of us is approval, denial of this A&R application from the applicants. I don't think we have necessarily anyone in the public in attendance, nor an obligation to hear from anyone in the public, but I will just ask if there is anyone out there. If they have anything they would like, I am open to that. Do you see anything, Cassandra?
There are a couple members of the public here. Nobody currently has their hands raised, and nobody's
Okay.
utilized the Q&A at this time.
excuse me, Kevin, one more point is we vote to endorse or not endorse the
That's right.
A&R. No,
That's
it's
right.
not an approval per se, it's another term of art, just one of the thousands of terms of arts that we have
Thank
to
you,
deal
Clark.
with.
Duly noted. Thank you. All right. So in the absence of anyone with their hand up or any further discussion or questions for the applicants, do I hear a motion from a member of the board with regard to Clark's point? Again, Clark, how is it worded?
I'll make a motion to endorse the A&R as shown.
And I second.
Okay, I heard a motion to endorse the A&R as presented by the applicants, seconded. Can we do a alphabetical or roll call vote, please?
Clark Brewer, aye.
Amy Glassmeyer, aye.
Kevin Heine, aye.
Deirdre Hobson, aye.
And Birgit Friedrich, aye.
And so all the members of the board have voted the affirmative for endorsement of the A&R, and it carries unanimously. I appreciate the applicants coming back and working with us to get the additional information that we had put forth to them from the first meeting, and their time spent doing that as well as this. Thank you and good luck with your project.
Thank you,
Thank you
appreciate
to the
it.
board. Appreciate it.
I think that is the two items that we had, Cassandra, in front of us. There's some additional information that this is an opportunity for perhaps you to share. Anything else that you know with regard to some of the other things that we've been involved with?
Yes. So the only other update that I had for you guys was on the associate member seat. So I met with Kevin and Ellen, the chair of the select board, as well as Chris Senior, to discuss the options, whereas it was a tie during the vote. There is no tiebreaker. So we did speak, or we contacted the applicants to say, if one of you would like to take a position on another board or committee, we're more than happy to do so, or take your name out of the running. Otherwise, the seat will be left up until the next election. And I haven't heard back from either of them as of yet. That doesn't mean that they can't respond in the meantime.
Okay. That's unfortunate.
Well, I will say I appreciated everyone taking the time to hang in on that meeting. It was late to start, but we had a robust discussion. It involved questions from the select board as well as our board. Well, I guess we didn't really have an opportunity for the public, but it was attended by the public, so the public could see the questions and get to know the applicants better. And I appreciate everyone on this board taking the time to attend that. And we ended up where we ended up. And so it was a tie, and it's not necessarily, it was perhaps a surprising outcome, but we have a path forward here. And if there's any change based on what Cassandra put forth in communications to the applicants, she can let us
You have
know.
somebody who wants to raise their hand. Peter?
Okay, well, let me finish talking before
Sorry.
we talk over everyone else here. So, Cassandra, if you don't mind keeping us in the loop with regard to that and anything we hear from the applicants based on what you put forth on the communication to them, that I believe was that addressed from Chris and you with a copy of you. Is that how it went? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Does anyone else have anything they want to add with regard to that on this board? And then if we have someone else in attendance that wishes to raise their hand and be heard on that issue or any other issue, we can open it up to them.
I would just like to add that, kind of, even though, and maybe a little bit unfortunately, we did not hear the public during our select board meeting when we were, kind of interviewing the two candidates. There have been a number of letters to the select board and to the planning board to support, kind of, I don't know, kind of at least one candidate. So I just wanted to say the public has participated in this matter.
All right, so there was some people or a person in attendance that had their hand up. Cassandra, can you promote them? And then if the person could take a moment before speaking to introduce themselves, their name and their affiliation address with the town.
They actually just left the webinar, so I cannot promote them.
Okay. And did we have any minutes? I don't believe we did.
You do not have any minutes to approve today. You'll have the July 22nd and 23rd, and then this meeting for your August 20th meeting.
Okay.
Can I ask a question? Great. Cassandra, can you give us a sense based on your experience in the last couple of years? This is an unusual moment where we have very low activity. And do you have any ideas about why that is? Is it the malaise of the public, vacations, concern about interest rates, lack of affordable housing? I personally think it probably is about the lack of affordable housing, because I've been paying close attention to all of the houses that come on the market, and almost maybe 5 out of the full 35 that I've been watching were less than $1 million. So I'm wondering if we're in a new phase of Cohasset.
I'm not sure. I know that it has been a little bit quieter for the board. I think, in my experience since taking on the board, you guys previously had a lot of large home review applications, but then you upped the requirement to make the houses, the threshold larger. So that could be why you're seeing a slight decrease in those. But I know that, for a lot of people, money is also tight. And with tariffs going up, I know that the price of things is also going up. So it could be that as well. But I don't know for sure.
When there's uncertainty in the market, people just freeze and hold on things. We did make the top 15, number 15 of the most expensive places to buy a house in Massachusetts.
Yeah, we did.
And we can see the fruits of some other decisions that we've made in the past as a board and other boards have approved moving forward in town over on the harbor. That's pretty walled off, but they have activity behind the fence over there. And then also in the downtown location, is that moving forward as well? Is that what I'm seeing downtown? By where
The old gas station?
Yeah, Or did they just
As far
clear
as
it
I
up?
know, he fenced the property off. But I don't
Yeah.
know any other status other than
That's
that.
what I'd seen as well. And it looked a little bit more cleaned up and fenced off. So access was more controlled. Okay. Well, I think that's all we had for this evening. If anyone has any other questions, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Alphabetical roll call, please. Thanks, everyone, for attending.
Clark
Thank you,
Brewer, aye.
Kevin.
Amy Glassmeyer, aye.
Kevin Heine, aye.
Deirdre Hobson, I.
Birgit Schmidt-Becher, aye.
And we didn't ask Justin anything.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I was just gonna
Justin.
say, it was I was gonna say good night, and that would be the first and only thing I said.
All right. Thank you,
Thank you for
Justin.
attending and thank you,
Good
Cassandra.
night.
Thank
Thanks
you,
all.
Cassandra.
Good night.
Good night.